I've been waiting 7 months for this thing. The Star Wars, the Black Series, Darth Revan, Force FX Elite Lightsaber. Now that's quite a mouthful. But this collectible has special meaning to me. To see high quality merchandise coming from a game that's part of my childhood, that's 15 years old and is about a main character that's decanonized to Disney is quite astounding. Now, it did cost me £200, which is quite steep, but it's not terrible in comparison to all the other Force FX lightsabers out there. There's not too much to say about the box, other than it's one of the prettier boxes that I've seen for a lightsaber replica. Unlike the old Master Replica boxes which were square, this has a very triangular shape which is very unique, and everything about it is extremely deep in colour and vibrant, especially the blacks, reds and purples. So for those of you collectors who treat the boxes like gold, I'm one of them, this is really going to stand out amongst the others. But let's open this thing up and see what exactly you're going to get for your £200 or $250. So in the box, first off, we have the blade, which is a polycarbonate blade like most of the lightsaber collectibles in the Black Series and the old Master Replicas. And this isn't designed in any way to duel or have any kind of hard impact. So if you buy one of these, please don't go around smacking it on everything, otherwise you will break it. We also have this little pamphlet which is very pretty and vibrant, and it's just designed to show you how to fit the thing together and how to use all of its features properly. Now, what we're all really here for is the hilt, which is nice and light for starters, and it's designed to replicate what I call the Revan Reborn lightsaber that you see in the Revan novel artwork and the Old Republic. It's specifically designed to have this Starforge vibe to it with the spires around the edge, which actually open up, and it gives it a lot of visual variety. Now, while it's relatively comfortable, you can't actually spin or do any tricks with it simply because of the design, which isn't a fault of the toy itself, but it certainly may take a little bit of getting used to when holding it compared to another lightsaber. As for the texture, it's a solid, strong metal, so it's sturdy and not going to easily be damaged, but I'm not entirely sure what metal it actually is, and the way it's been grinded give it this kind of weathered look rather than a clean chrome. I don't know if this is by design, but to me it looks pretty damn cool, but my friend on the other hand thought the opposite, so I think this is personal taste. It also has these little plastic bits down the side, which give it a little bit more character, and it's all patterned to look mechanical, which is really nice. Next up in the box we have this kyber crystal, which lights up inside and outside the blade. I'll show you that in a minute, because first we have this incredible stand. This is hands down the best lightsaber stand I've ever seen. It's weighty, it's metal, and it doesn't feel like a toy stand. It's themed, and it actually feels like something they might use in the Star Wars universe to stand their hilts in their quarters or something. And I really appreciate that. Many stands that come with these lightsaber replicas are just plastic, and they just have the Star Wars logo written across them, but this one is of the highest quality. I absolutely love it. So let's go back to the kyber crystal, and you have to put this in the lightsaber and activate it. This will then charge the glow from within the hilt, which you can change between red and purple just by holding down both buttons. But then when you take it out, it will actually start glowing for quite a long while, about 15 to 30 minutes, but it will never stay purple. It will always eventually dim to red, which is a little bit disappointing, but the crystal isn't the centerpiece. It's just a nice little addition, but its novelty does wear off. As for the blade, the ignition is crisp and smooth, and it's one of the best I've ever seen. LEDs run through the blade so that instead of one big light up from the bottom, each individual LED within the blade ignites individually to create that smooth ignition look. But here's where things begin to go downhill. The volume of the actual blade is extremely weak. I've tested this against another Force FX lightsaber, a Master Replicas one, as well as a custom lightsaber, and it's just not strong enough to compete. And this is the same for all of the volume for all of the effects. The clash effects themselves are also too sensitive in the hilt. Just a flick of the wrist and they'll be going off, and while I said it's not designed for combat, it's a tad annoying when you're just waving it about for the hum, and all of a sudden it just starts going off for no reason. It also has blaster deflection effects in the bottom button, but they're barely any different from the clash effects, and there aren't that many anyway. They occur in a very predictable and short pattern, and it also has this wall cutting effect. Now you can't actually see this effect on the camera, but it's multicoloured like a rainbow. and I don't understand why. It looks extremely stupid. I would have just preferred an on-hit lock effect with flashing white and vibration, which by the way is probably one of the worst things about this lightsaber. Without any vibration, it feels kind of lifeless. During all the filming for this review, my friend has a custom lightsaber that I was holding that has a hefty vibration in the hilt that really travels up your arm, giving it a kind of realism, and if you hold them side by side, the Darth Revan lightsaber feels soulless. It's like it's missing something. And I've got 20-pound lightsaber toys which have small vibration effects built into them, and personally this shouldn't be any exception, which is extremely disappointing. Then of course we have the colour changer, which has a super cool but again too quiet sound effect which happens as you hold down both buttons. But sadly, while the red in the blade is bright and potent, the purple is really weak in comparison. It's not a deep purple, it's not a bright purple, and it's actually kind of more like blue, which is really strange. And the fact that this thing has multiple colour RGBs, but it's locked to blue and red, in my opinion, is a thematic fault in its design. Revan has had red, blue, green and cyan in this lightsaber hilt alone, so I don't know why they locked it to 2 unless the multicolours are only in the tip, but having more than 2 colour variations would have been a massive improvement, unless they are planning on making his second lightsaber alongside this one with green and blue colours. It's possible. So, in conclusion, is this worth the asking price of £200? Well, for a KOTOR fan like myself, and if you're watching this video then I assume you are too, then yes, in my opinion, 100%. This is a must-have for any KOTOR collection. But if you're not the biggest Knights of the Old Republic fan and you're more of a collector, or a general fan of the Black Series sabers and Star Wars, I would wait for a sale until it's around 25 or 35% cheaper. Additionally, I've noticed that it's a little bit sharp within the smaller grooves of the spires, so it may be a little bit risky for smaller children. But for me, this hits all of my nostalgia strings. The design is almost impeccable to the Starforge and the Revan that I've come to love, and it sits on the stand so exquisitely. Visually, the stand and the hilt complement each other so well, and it's a brilliant display piece. But in terms of practicality as a toy, it needs so much more. It is too quiet. The purple isn't saturated enough in comparison to the red, the audio loops are too limited, the sound effects are too limited, the wall cutting effect is just stupid, plus it needed a vibration effect so badly, and I hope to God that future Black Series sabers will have one. A lot of work has been put into creating the most visually appealing review possible for you guys, and I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content coming your way soon. I also want to thank everyone who supported the channel financially, no matter how big or small, so donators and Patreons, and I'd love to create more reviews like this in the future for other lightsabers, so perhaps consider checking out my Patreon to support my content further, and to get some cool rewards in the process. Lastly, I want to thank 2 of my best friends who helped me create this video, the incredible and talented Alan Lavery, who created all of the videography that you've seen, and of course the beautiful Eliza JPEG who modelled for me. Both of their links are in the description, so go check them out. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, may the Force be with you, always.